Good morning and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. I am Julie Matheson and I'm a practitioner here at the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you for joining us for this morning's meditation. We're glad you're here. And so in meditation fashion, let's go ahead and just start to find a comfortable seat. Palms in your lap, facing upwards as if you're offering up whatever you're ready to surrender to the universe today, because that's our focus this morning, surrender. So gently close your eyes and bring your focus to your breath. And let your breath be soft and gentle. Let your chest and abdomen rise as you breathe in and fall as you breathe out. And if you can catch any awareness of the space in that brief moment between your inhales and your exhales, at the top of your breath, notice the stillness in between your breath in and your breath out. And just finding that stillness that exists there for you. Let everything fall away as you focus on this one moment. Now imagine with me that you're walking down a spacious path in a very lush green forest with very tall trees. And just allow yourself to feel even more and more relaxed. So peaceful as you slip a little deeper and surrender just a little more. Noticing your luscious breath. And so we're walking down this path. It's very spacious. You've been here before. It's familiar. It's beautiful. There are pastel flowers growing all throughout the forest. You can see them as you look beyond the path. Everything is slowed down. It's in slow motion. The air is warm. The day is sunny. It's high noon. And after walking for a while, you come upon a warm, gentle, shallow, babbling brook that is sourced from a hot springs. And the water is just the perfect temperature on this beautiful, warm, sunny day. And you get this wonderful idea to lay down in the brook. It's not that deep. And the pebbles beneath you are very soft for stones. They're tiny and round and form to your body as you lay down into the brook. And the water's just the right temperature. It just feels so nice. And the sun is filtering through the trees. And And it's just the perfect shade right over your eyes. So you're just enjoying the way the water so gently passes over your feet. There's a little waterfall. Perhaps you lay down so your feet are facing upstream and your head is facing downstream, and you're able to put your head just over this short little waterfall. Maybe it's like 12 inches. And so the water comes up over you, down through your bottom of your feet, up through your calves, all the way up your back and shoulders, and then this warm water goes through your hair and the little waterfall, the tiny little waterfall. And this is a very quiet day. It's a very still day, and there might be animals and birds and butterflies, but they're in slow motion and they're so gentle. And so we're just going to surrender to that water. And we're going to let it carry away whatever we want to place in it. Anything we want to let go of, anything we want to forgive. Anything that feels like it's just hard or too heavy. It's not anything you want to release. Just going to surrender it to the water. It's so happy to take it. And a butterfly just landed on your right knee. So sweet. And in this moment, you surrender to the beauty, to the peace, to the moment. deep, luscious breath. And maybe a little yawn as you feel so incredibly peaceful and serene with the warm water bubbling and just gently flowing all around you in this slow motion way. It's almost as if time has stopped. It's in pause, neutral. And in this wide open space, in these healing, warm waters, and this fresh air and sunshine, it just feels so easy to forgive everything and everyone. With no arguments from your mind, because in this moment, your mind, body, and spirit are all working as one and willing to surrender to a greater peace and a greater ease and joy. It feels so good to surrender to this moment, this one moment. So come back to your breath. Breathing in. Noticing the space at the top of your breath. And breathing out. We're just going to know that we have access to this peace and this healing water and this brook and this sunshine and this balance that we feel mind, body, and spirit anytime we want to tap into it. This forest is always here, it's always lush. It's always happy to see you. It's always happy to hold you. It's happy to carry things down its babbling brook that you would like to release. And when you breathe here, the air is nutritious. It's fortifying. It enlivens every cell in your body. It enlivens your mitochondria and reminds it how efficient it can be. When you're ready, start to get up off the stones in the shallow brook. And thank the water, thank the stones, thank the forest. And start to, let's imagine you're wearing clothes that dry quickly. much for joining us for this morning's meditation at the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. We will have service in about 10:30 Eastern, in 15 minutes. Thanks for joining us. We're really glad you're here.
I know I have Good morning. Welcome to Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Tammy Evans, and I am a licensed religious science practitioner here at the center, and I'll be sharing the announcements today.
Good morning.
Good morning. A huge thank you to everyone joining us today in person and on our Facebook page for meditation and Sunday celebration. Our annual meeting will take place in person on Sunday, March 26th, and we will have a Zoom link for those who cannot attend in person. More information will follow. Our nominations corps would like to know if you would be interested in serving on either the nominations corps or mission corps. If so, and you are a member and you've taken foundations class, please contact Jody Bellman or Margie Sammons, and thank you for considering. Watch your email on or before January 31st, 2023 for our 2022 annual giving statements. Starting in February, we will have a gathering or a community potluck after service in the community room. It will take place on the fourth Sunday of each month. And always, if you would like prayer after service or any time throughout the week, you can find our prayer practitioners on our website, columbuscsl.org, or you can submit a prayer request on our Facebook page. Today after service, our practitioners will be in the anteroom just outside these doors. And that is the news for today. Let's all stand and sing our opening song. I woke up this morning.
Hallelujah.
Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Amy Papadoupolo, and it is my honor to welcome you here this glorious Sunday morning. We are an inclusive organization. No matter where you are on your spiritual journey, no matter how you identify, no matter how you show up in the world, you are honored and celebrated here. Hello to all of our online watchers this morning. Please feel free to share our live stream to your own Facebook page. We are glad that you are here with us virtually. If you are watching us at a later time, we are glad to have you as well. We will upload this service later to our YouTube channel, Columbus CSL. Now please read our mission statement along with me. We serve the transformation of individual lives through education, spiritual practice, and deep community, using spirit and science-aligned principles as our compass. I'd like to thank our visiting our outreach practitioner, Julie Matheson. She is in town today. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for the meditation. Now I'd like to reintroduce one of our local practitioners, Tammy Owens. Tammy.
We now begin our sacred service. A reading from Carolyn Mess, Sacred Contracts. When we are in those desperately painful experiences that we must pass through because of the agreements we have made before our earthly lives began, the practice of forgiveness, illogical though it may seem to our minds, is the only practice that finally soothes our soul. Now let the music take us to the silence within.
I will wait along the grace
There is only one God, one mind, one truth, one love. This love is infinite and inclusive and boundless. It is the source of all in existence. I'm conscious of the presence of this God within me. I open myself to this loving presence and allow it to fill my entire being, our entire being, with light and love. When we remember that we are one with this divine, our consciousness rises higher. Today I remember that this one life is my life, is our life right now, and I celebrate it out loud. I surrender to this life and to this coming year. I let go of our falsehoods, our fears, and all our doubt, and I free ourselves to live out loud in celebration. I let go of all hate because it only separates us from being fully expressions of God. The biggest surrender of all is to love completely. I'm so grateful for the love that the wisdom of the divine within me brings forth, and I align myself with this greater truth as this law does its perfect work and says yes to all that I surrender. I let it go, I let it be, and so it is.
I will make a quiet place, a quiet place within my life, and I will wait along the grace, wait along the grace.
Happy 5th Sunday in January. Can you believe it? It is almost it is the end of January 2023. We're getting ready to move into February. Our theme for January is Root and Reboot. And like Tammy told us in our opening prayer this morning, today we are celebrating life as source and living out loud. So our monthly theme today is, as we begin the year, we usually in Science Mind and in Centers for Spiritual Living, we examine the principles, the foundation that this theory is based on. We've been doing this for decades, and we are continuing this tradition. So we looked at the universalness of this teaching, with an emphasis on the truth, that truth with a capital T, that we are not only of spirit, but we are also in spirit. And we've talked about this before. I've talked about this before. Not only is spirit in us, but it is also beyond us. We know that by our spiritual practice, we deepen our awareness of that I am, that is really truly who we are. And that spiritual practice can be prayer, contemplation, meditation, divine connective conversation, visioning. It can look like a lot of different things. So, Ernest Holmes, in his essay, The Great Surrender, talks about surrender as losing our lives. And what he means is that we lose and let go of those aspects of our lives that hold us back from living with spirit as our center. Holmes says that humanity has a tendency to define life by external conditions. And as religious scientists, we know that life is an internal experience. In unifying ourselves with the one mind, we know that life is eternal, and that the eternal objects and the objections before us that are merely sins, which is Holmes meant by sin, is missing the mark. It's actually an archery term. Missing the mark is a sin. That's the way he looked at the word sin. And instead, when we miss the mark, or when we sin, we return to that source of our being. We return to that source within us so that we can live in harmony with the divine that is always within us. So Holmes is telling us here that as we surrender and as we lose ourselves, we don't lose ourselves to what's out here. Because Michael Beckwith, and I love this, and I forget, until I remind myself, this out here is old news. This out here is what is a manifestation of what we have created, what we have co-created before. So think about that. What we have created, co-created in our lives is what we have put into the law. If we want more of what we have, and I know that we have things in our lives that we want more of, we continue to put that into the law. And I know there are things that we want a little different, so we put something different into the law. So with spiritual mind treatment, which is what we call prayer or affirmative prayer, we remove the obstacles that get into the way of our own divine source. And these obstacles are doubt, fear, and an acronym we can think about with fear is false evidence appearing real. To get back to the truth of our being, those qualities that Thomas Troyer talked about with God of love, light, life, truth, wisdom, joy, and abundance. When we are focused on the fear or the lack, those things keep us away from the truth of who we are. And they keep us up. I don't know about you guys, but man, 3 o'clock seems to be the witching hour. 3 a.m. Wake up at 3 a.m. I see Kristen nodding her head. Man, right? 3 o'clock. Sarah's nodding her head. I saw this really funny little meme. I think it's a meme. I'm not sure exactly what a meme is, but I think I know. I'm not sure. Anyway, I saw this meme on Instagram this week, and it was like an Eastern European, probably like maybe a wedding. There was a whole group of people, and they were doing this line dance. They were all moving in the same direction. They didn't have any expression on their face, and they didn't hardly have any physical movement. They were all moving together. They were all looking the same way, And the caption was, "These are all of my fears waiting till 3 o'clock in the morning to come and see me." But man, isn't that right? I didn't know any of those people in that room. But what happens is, as humans, as our human brain tries to keep us safe, that reptilian brain, that amygdala, tries to keep us safe, it's always scanning for what might present danger. It's just what it does. As much as our hands move like this, there's a part in our reptilian brain that scans for danger. That amygdala, the size of an almond, is always at work. So just to be aware of that and to know that can help us not get stuck in that reptilian part of our brain and instead shift to that prefrontal cortex that doesn't fully come online until we're 25. And I heard this week for men, I was going to say sorry men, but see, like men, it doesn't even come fully online until you're 30. There's a joke in there. I had a brother. But to stay in that prefrontal cortex where that higher order thinking lives, where that place where we can make the choice to live from our place of love and light and life, instead of from fear and doubt and worry. So, we can never fully separate these two things because we are human. We are a human animal. That is part of our experience here. However, hate, we don't have to experience that. Hate is a place of separation, and I'm looking around and I know most of you pretty well. And I would say that hate is something that we typically don't experience. But I would ask you, and oftentimes in these talks I scratch my own itch, I would ask ourselves to just take a moment and pause. And is there a place within ourselves where we're experiencing any sort of self-hatred or self-separation? I've been thinking a lot about the 5 different areas. I think of them as 5 different areas of our life. Spirituality, physical, career, relationship. Oh, can I do this off the top of my head? Money. So take a minute and think about, is there a place in your life where you feel fear or separation or even hatred in any aspect of any of those parts of your life? And I would ask you to think about it. Is there a story that you're telling yourself around any part of that, of your life that you might find a little something happening within you? You can tell a different story. You can use affirmative prayer to heal that. Those stories that we tell, that part of ourselves that keep us separate from ourselves, is just illusion, or as was what's coming up right now in psychology is trauma, early trauma, and not big trauma. I think most of us think of trauma as big trauma, but playground trauma, little trauma. We all have it. But to be able to heal from that, what do we focus on? Because those old traumas get activated and the amygdala that makes us safe. So to be aware of when those old traumas shift us from the prefrontal cortex to the amygdala, to be aware of that and to remember. And I think that this is where the real key and the real beauty to this teaching is that our truth with that capital T is not our external experience, but rather our internal not even our internal experience, the internal I am. If we can come back to that internal goodness, that internal godness, that we are whole, perfect, and complete no matter what. And to strengthen that, to practice that. And I'll give you an example that happened this morning to me. And awareness they say that awareness is the first step. So the reading this morning, as Tammy read for us from Sacred Contracts, which is an amazing book by Carolyn Mays. The reading was, when we are in those desperate, painful experiences that we must pass through because of the agreements we have made before our earthly lives began, the practice of forgiveness, illogical though it may seem in our minds, is the only practice that finally soothes our soul. So, Sacred Contracts is the idea that we have these contracts, and you cast your wheel, basically in this book, where you make contracts with different people, just like it sounds. And so I know for me, I've done this process, that one of the contracts that I agreed to before I came here was, like many, many, many of us, is I got my own good heaping share of perfectionism. And I said, yes, I will sign up for a good heaping pile of perfectionism. I don't like to look like I make mistakes. I don't like to feel like I make mistakes. And man, has this been something I've worked on my whole entire 50 plus years on this earth. So, I work a full-time job during the week, and on the weekends I like to have nice, slow mornings. I have a chair in my room. I like to sit there and meditate and write in my journal, and I'm having a nice, slow morning this morning, and I get a text at 9:45, and it's Margie. Oh, something I can't say from the pulpit. I'm like, oh, it's the 5th Sunday. I agreed to the 5th Sunday. It's the 5th Sunday. And it's 9:45. I know why she's texting me. I can feel it in my body right now. I'm like, I'm on my way. And just like this quote, gosh, that was a painful experience. I felt embarrassment, shame, humiliation, and I made it triggered that that sacred contract that, Amy, you can't make any mistakes, or else you're not worthy of anything, which is another word I can't say. It's all BS.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the beauty of this teaching. Because this teaching tells us we are whole, perfect, and complete no matter what. And like this reading says, the practice of forgiveness, illogical though it may seem in our minds, is the only practice that soothes our soul. What soothed my soul is forgiving myself. Because, man, I can tell you, geez, it's probably been, Kristen, I'm looking at you and thinking about you. It's been, boy, it was probably 2010. I remember talking to you about this same issue, and it's 2023, and I remember Kristen saying, Amy, put down the big stick. Remember that? Shaking her head. But think about how many times, whatever it is for you, that we self-flagellate, whatever it is, and we practice that. We strengthen that muscle of fear, of doubt, instead of, well, maybe not instead of. So I would say today, it's like those old Virginia Slim commercials. I will tell you that, baby, I've come a long way. And I know you all have come a long way, because I've known a lot of you for a long time. And we're just going to keep going a long way. Holmes talks about a scientist hungry for knowledge, something new. Holmes talks about Thomas Edison, as the story goes, who made over 1,000 attempts before he discovered electricity. And each failure, he needed to surrender to a bigger truth. Following each piece of knowledge like a breadcrumb until the bigger picture, the underlying principle was revealed. He had clung to his personal limited ideas. He might have given up. The principle of electricity was not altered. It had been and ever will be the same. But it takes a conscious commitment to surrender, to be able to discern what lies underneath and to apply that principle. We are like Edison, right? As we continue, whatever it is in our lives, those 1,000 times where we try, where that principle of wholeness is always there, waiting for us. It's always there. Waiting. It never changes. God never changes. We're the ones that get closer and closer to that joy, that love, that life, that wisdom, abundance. To the surrender, as we surrender our fear, as we surrender into the joy, really. So the biggest surrender of all is to love completely. When we love completely, and when we hold that as our highest principle, the pathway to forgiveness unfolds, where we're able to see more in the world and experience and accept the world exactly as it is. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, "For it is only the finite that has wrought and suffered. The infinite lies stretched in smiling repose. So here's a story by Reverend Sapphire Rose. She let go without a thought or a word. She let go. She let go of all the fear. She let go of all the judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around in her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of the right reasons, wholly and completely, without hesitation or worry. She just let go. She didn't ask anyone for advice. She didn't read another book on how to let go. She didn't search the scriptures. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all of the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all of the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected day in her day timer. She made no public announcement and put no ad in the paper. She didn't check the weather report. And she did not read her daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyze whether she should or should not let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't do a 5-step spiritual mind treatment. She didn't even call the prayer line. She didn't utter one word. She just let go. No one was around when it happened. There was no applause. There was no congratulation. No one thanked her. No one praised her. No one even noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. There wasn't good. There wasn't bad. A light blue breeze just blew right through her. And the sun and the moon shone forevermore. She just let go. So let's pray. How good it is right here, right now, in this moment. How good it is to feel the tingling of life flowing through me. For what I know about this tingling is that is source energy. This tingling that I can feel right here and right now is the same tingling that flows through each person in this room. That same source energy flowing through each and every one of us. It is the same source energy, and yet unique and individualized. And this source energy is love, light, life, joy, wisdom, beauty, abundance, wholeness, completeness, and perfection. So I turn away from any fear, any doubt, any judgment, any need to hold on or control, or desire for perfection, or fear. And instead I turn back to allowing that truth that is the God within that I am. It is unto this that I let go. On behalf of myself and each and every person here, each and every person watching now, watching later on behalf of all of us, I let go into the flow that flows through me. And I feel joy and satisfaction. So I let it go with a grateful heart as I flow and go on my way in life. Please join with me by saying, "It's so good."
We know the healing power. We know the healing power. We know the healing power. We know the healing power of love. We know the healing power. We know the healing power. We know the healing power. We know the healing power of love. We know the healing power. We know the healing power. We know the healing power. We know the healing power of love. We know the healing power of love. We know the healing power of love.
So now is the time for the giving of our gifts. Thank you for the ways that you continue to consciously contribute to the Center for Spiritual Living, Columbus Center for Spiritual Living during these times. We are honored to be able to continue to support you spiritually. God bless you. As we appreciate the gifts, your tithes, and all the ways that you can continue to contribute to CCSL. Your conscious contributions are important because it helps us to fulfill our vision, which is a world that works for everyone. As we engage with the law of circulation, we remember that God is our source and we are simply circulating God's energy in the form of money by giving and receiving. We have two convenient ways for you to donate to CCSL. We have a web giving link and a text to give number. These are on the slide and you can give them from your latest e-news. If you'd like to give to electronically today, I believe Robin has this square up there. Now, please say our affirmation with me. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
And as we witness this circulation, sing along to Michael Gott's All That I Need. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All that I need comes to me.
Come to me.
All that I need comes to me. Light of love and grace shines on my face. All that I need comes to me.
in love. I know that this single source is abundant, prosperous, and expansive, and together with this one, the center is also abundant, prosperous, and expansive. We attract so much good that we share with other people, and those who are around us also experience expansive good in their lives. As above, so below, as with one, as with all. I give thanks for the finances of our dimension, the influx and the outgo, the giving and receiving of currency, supply and value. I'm generous, I'm grateful. And please join me in singing.
And so it is, and so we let it be. And so it is, and so we let it be.
So thank you to our practitioners this morning. Thank you, Julie Matheson. So glad you could be here in person today. Thanks for our meditation. Thank you, Tammy Evans, for those beautiful prayers this morning. Thank you to our center band, Tony Bernardi on keyboard, Steve Parakis on bass. Thank you to Julie Colburn for being our service coordinator this morning. Thank you to Dave Scarborough for live streaming, and actually for wearing two hats with us this morning, for being on live streaming and for being our song leaders. Thank you to Robin for being on slides. And again, thanks Dave for being with Joni up there for being our song leaders. Thank you to all of the volunteers that helped create this sacred place for our celebration. And thank you all that are here, whether you're here with us in person or if you're watching us online today. Bless you all. You are invited back next week. You are invited to bring all of your family and friends and coworkers, anyone you see on the streets, grab them and bring them in with you next week as we get this amazing, amazing teaching out to the world. If you are joining us for the very first time here in person, we welcome you. If you are joining us for the very first time watching us live now or later on, we welcome you. We have a packet of information here in person. We also have a packet of information that we can send you. If you would like to receive it by mail, please send us a Facebook message. So now in closing, please say our blessing with me. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life. And so it is. So please stand for our closing song.
Everything I need to know about what lies before me. Everything I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. Available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything I need to do about what lies before me. Everything I need to do about what lies before me is available to me. Available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything I need to release about what lies before me. Everything I need to release about what lies before me is available to me. Available to me through the mind of God within me. Through the mind of God within me. Through the mind of God within me.